I'm glad you brought up these sort of like demand response programs and such because I was thinking like we always know that like in New York City there's going to be like 3 weeks out of the summer where New Yorkers are going to be asked to not use their air conditioning as much. And I've always thought that that was kind of ironic because that's actually when you need to use your AC when it's like really hot outside. And now the utilities telling you to not use the thing that you want or need to use. And up until probably like, let's just say the past 15 years, 20 years, let's just say the past 20 years, utilities were in this place where it's like, here's your power, use it, go for it. And then now they're kind of like, use it, but actually, could you not use it? And that kind of scarcity mentality, you don't want your customers to have that. You want your customers to have an abundance mentality and use whatever they want to use because you're selling them something. You want them to use it. And so I'm wondering, like, is your technology one of those solutions that utilities could deploy in certain places where they know there's going to be these high weeks of demand, whether it's in the summer or the winter, and release some extra capacity so that they don't have to be communicating to their customers like, don't use our service.
So there's kind of an interesting anecdote about this, which is, utilities, they plan for the system peaks, right? Like that's the idea is they want to be able to accommodate that worst case electrical load. Well, one of the problems, that we're solving for and how we unlock this capacity is that there's just imbalanced loading across the circuit. It's very difficult to know where that load is going to pop up. And so the optimal time to rebalance a circuit is on the summer peak. Well, rebalancing the circuit means you're disconnecting single phase laterals and causing outages for folks. And the utilities really don't want to go out there in the hottest day of the year and start disconnecting folks all over the place because people are going to be screaming left, right, and center. So one of the sort of ways to get a system that's more closely balanced for one operating point is to try and go and do those manual rebalancing techniques. But again, we find the utilities really don't want to do it because the best time to do it is the hottest day of the year. They don't want to cause outages for their customers. And then the other issue here is with how dynamic the grid is, when you balance the system for a specific point, a lot of times you find out that you created imbalance at another point in time in the year. So we have a customer in the Southeast that famously tells us, we go out and we have to balance the circuit every summer for the summer peak because it's so bad that we're getting nuisance trips where the single phase loading is so high, the substation thinks that there's a fault on that phase and opens up the circuit breaker. And then once they fix that problem, the hottest day of the year, they have to come out on Christmas Day and rebalance it again.
Goodness.
Yeah. So it's definitely kind of an annoying pain point here, and I would say goes back to that concept. I think more flexible tools, and we're not going to be the only one in the toolkit. There's going to be other players that kind of try to go into this space too. I think once they see that the utilities have real appetite for this.